Hello, today we're going to talk about how to enter group enrollment information into 4HConnect. So before we begin, we want to make sure that this is a group that truly does belong within 4HConnect and the group enrollment section. Group enrollment is only for groups such as curriculum enrichment programs within schools and special interest groups, which are done outside of a school setting. There must be 5 to 6 learning experiences in one project area, and the students must have had at least 2 to 3 hours of educational instruction. We also typically say that 51% of the group is non-4-H members. If there are any 4-H members that are in the group, then those 4-H members are considered what we call duplicates because they're already entered into 4HConnect through their personal profile when they signed up as a club member. For example, if you offer a program and conduct a program about rocketry and offer it to 4-H members only, it should not be included in group enrollment. However, if you offer this same program to both 4-H members and non-4-H members, it can be included. Those 4-H members that were in attendance would be what we call the duplicates. So let's go ahead and look at how we enter that information into 4HConnect. First, log into your County 4HConnect account, click the Enrollment tab at the top left, and then go on over to the Group Enrollment icon in the ribbon of icons at the top. Now we will want to add group enrollment right underneath the row of icons. You'll see 3 pages of information that need to be entered, and that's program, member distribution, and volunteer distribution. All right, so we're on the first page for the program. The first thing we need to do is enter the program name. You can leave the description blank, and then we'll go ahead and enter the days that we completed this program. And you can see I've marked it over a 2-day period back in October, and you can also use the little calendar icon date picker thing that's right there, but I went ahead and typed it in myself. And then you'll want to select the year that the record needs to count towards. Right now there's only one option in there because we've already submitted the previous year information and the new year hasn't started. But if you're doing this after the August 15th date, then you may see two years in there. So make sure you're selecting the correct year when you put it in there. And then you can select the club or group or the school that you conducted the program at. When you click the drop-down menu, you can see some groups that were created and some of the schools that are listed down there. You can go ahead and select that school, or if you don't see it, you can create a new group. And so we're going to go ahead and create a new group here. And we'll call the group type as school. And then we're going to select the delivery mode or the delivery method. The most common delivery methods that you're going to see are number 2, the special interest or short-term program, and number 4, which is the 4-H school enrichment program. Since we're saying we did this in a school, that's what we'll go ahead and select this time, and then we'll click Add Group. And if you'll notice, the delivery mode was automatically changed based upon the club or group that we went ahead and selected. Please note that the special interest group that we saw number 2 in that delivery mode are not to be confused with spin clubs. Those are groups or activities that take place outside of the classroom setting that we are using curricula with. All right, so then we'll enter our speaker, our presenter, and that can be you as the county extension agent, it can be a volunteer, it can be the teacher. We'll go ahead and say it was the teacher here. We'll say the location and the zip code, and then the number of hours of instruction. Let's say over the course of those 2 days I spoke to the young people for a total of 4 hours. And then I'm going to say that no, we didn't have anyone from military families, and then we'll answer the question, is this a food and nutrition program with the FNEP or FNP program? And in this case I'm going to say yes, it is, and then we'll go down and add the project. Okay, so you can add multiple projects to the same group. However, be sure it's the same group of kids that are receiving multiple projects. So in here, we'll go in here and select Balance Your Day with Food and Play. and we'll click Add Project. And as you can see, that has now appeared down here. If I made a mistake, I could always click Remove and then go back in and add it back right here. And so you can see I've got it back. Now, if you're entering an event such as your Ag Awareness Day, which I know a lot of folks have, be sure to only select one project, such as, let's show an example here, Science of Agriculture, or maybe the Texas Farm Bureau Mobile Learning Barn. Don't select multiple projects like beef and swine and poultry, horticulture, anything like that, because they're not receiving 2 to 3 hours of educational instruction in each of those projects. They're receiving 2 to 3 hours of education over the whole curriculum. So be sure you only select one of those. All right, so after we've selected our project, we'll hit Continue, and we will move on to page 2, which is the member distribution. Okay, on this page is where we will worry about duplicates, and we only have to worry about the duplicates within the gender section. And again, duplicates are those 4-H members who are already entered into 4HConnect as club members, or youth that have already been enrolled through another group enrollment form. Again, we'll only worry about these duplicates here up in gender, and we'll enter the total number of participants we had in the program. Let's say I had 100 students total, but let's say that 5 of the males and 15 of the females were already entered into 4HConnect in some other manner, either as a club member or through another group enrollment form. As you can see, these subtotals are automatically calculated, and then the duplicates are removed. So now we go on to the racial distribution, and if you'll notice, it says to please remove current 4-H participants, or the duplicates. So we're now only worrying about these 80 young people that we reached, not the total 100. All right, so I know that the racial distribution differs a bit from our Texas data monthly reports regarding race and ethnicity, but I know we can figure it out, so stick with me, have a little patience. The federal government reads racial groups and ethnicity as two separate things. Ethnicity is typically the first question. If you recall maybe to the last time you filled out a census form, they ask you, are you of Hispanic ethnicity, yes or no? And then they'll ask you about your racial group. So let's think of some individual kids, for example, and the first thing we want to do is determine the ethnicity. Are they Hispanic or non-Hispanic? And then so that decides which column we're going to be in, Hispanic or non-Hispanic. And then we'll go down here. So if the young person is white only, we'll look here and we'll enter those their information in here. So let's say 20 kiddos. And then let's see, do we have any students that are Black or African American only? And let's say, sure, we have another 20 kiddos there. And do we have any Asian kiddos? Sure, we've got 10. And then let's say we have someone that we consider Hispanic. Typically, the students that we reach here in Texas would be in the Hispanic column under the white racial group. And let's say we have 10 there. And then we can also look some other young people, maybe they're of mixed racial groups. So let's say we have some kiddos that are white and Black, and so we'll go ahead and add them there. And to make our numbers add up, I'll go ahead and make 20. All right, so we can see that we've got our numbers that match up here to 80 now. Now remember, the balance of combinations is a section for those combinations of race which are not listed here. So you can see we have the Native Hawaiian, this is one of mixed racial groups, white and Black, white and American Indian or Alaska Native. Another mixed racial group is Black and American Indian, and white and Asian. If you have any other combinations, they would go down here under balance of combinations, or sometimes referred to as BC. Okay, so now we'll go on down to the residence distribution, and let's see what we got here. That should add up to 80, and then we'll say we have kiddos in the 3rd and 4th grades, and our totals will match to 80. Now, all the totals have to match: the grade distribution, the residence, the racial distribution, and the gender distribution with the duplicates removed. All of those numbers need to match. So let's say, for example, I put in a wrong number here, and it's showing I have 90. When I hit click continue, it's going to tell me that the distributions do not match. So I'm going to go back in here and correct that and make that 40. So now it's an 80 again, and it should let me go on to the next page. All right, so now we're on to the last page, volunteer distribution. And this is where we talk about the volunteers, so anyone other than Extension employees who help teach the program. This includes our teachers or any other volunteers. Notice that the racial distribution page looks very similar to the previous page, but this time it separates out adult volunteers and youth volunteers into two different columns. You can see that there. All right, so let's say I had 2 volunteers. I had one white non-Hispanic teacher and one Hispanic youth volunteer that helped me in the program. So you can see I've got 1 and 1 adult and 1 youth. Then we go down to the adult classification distribution section, and we will list if they're direct or indirect volunteers. Direct volunteers are those volunteers that are actually having direct contact with the youth, such as teachers. Indirect volunteers would be those volunteers who helped with the program but did not actually have direct contact with the youth. So this could be a volunteer that helped fix lunch or solicited donors or something along those lines. So we'll say our teacher was an adult female that was a direct volunteer, and we'll say our youth was one male that was a direct volunteer. So again, we've got 1 and 1. And then we go to the training distribution section, and you'll enter the number of volunteers that help teach topics listed here of leadership or of parenting. And if it doesn't fit into either one of those categories, then we're going to say other. And so let's go ahead and put our 1 youth here and our 1 adult here. And once you have all your information in there, go ahead and click the submit form checkbox and hit the save button. Once you do that, it will return you back to your county list of group enrollment, and you can, let me look for the current 4-H year here, and you can find the program that we just submitted right here today, and we'll go ahead and click edit to go back and look at it. All right, it brought us back into this program that we already created, and if you can see, there's no continue to the next page. We can only edit or return to the list at this point. And let's say we needed to add another project or make some corrections. We're going to click edit, and that will kind of unsubmit the report, if you will. And so now we can go ahead and add a new project. So for example, let's say we conducted Volunteer Day with Food and Play, like we did here in this example in October, and then we came back in the spring with some teachers and we did another lesson. We can go ahead and click, let's say like Science of Ag, for example, and we'll add that project. And so now I've got 2 projects for this one class of students, and we'll hit continue and continue again. So we go ahead and click the submit box again and the save form button, and it takes us back to our county page with all of the listing of all the programs that we've submitted, and you can see it's back there, and again this time it's got the 2 projects on it. And that's it. That's all you need to do. I hope this helps. If you have any additional questions, reach out to your 4-H specialist, and I'm sure they'll be glad to help you.